Hello, and welcome back to SML, the point after, a four-person free-for-all where the best of the SML compete on the hottest topics. At the end, they get a prize of really nothing, but there's power-ups, all sorts of stuff involved. I'm Prime Time, Tiny Titan is up there, Doink's up there, Torque, Dump the Chump. How's it going, fellas?
Oh,
there's
wow, Dump the Chump already calling him out. Crazy.
Okay.
The champ.
The champ, Dump the Champ. We'll call him that.
I knew he'd have that trophy there, right beside of him.
Hey guys, so on our show we do have some power-ups. They're flashed on your screen, guys. They're in your point after chat if you want to see what they do. But self-revive, precision airstrike, revive pistol, gas mask, deployable cover. They're all there for you guys to utilize when needed. And again, they're on the screen there for the viewers at home. So first question, we're dropping down now. Do you guys study? If so, what's your studying method? If not, what do you think about the studiers of the league? And let's start off with Tiny Titan.
So I do not typically. I feel like every time that I've went through and looked at people's stats, like how many times they throw to these guys or whatever, and I start watching somebody, it doesn't work out for me. I start worrying too much. I'm thinking too much. Like, you just need to go play your game. That's just my opinion. Of course, I'm not always the winningest member in this league, but I feel like when I study, I think too much about it, and you're not just playing in the flow of your game. Yeah. Now, some guys, which I've heard, Bomber, Dan, study quite a bit, and obviously it's paid off at times with them. So, but yeah, for me, I don't want to have to overthink the whole game. I want to play my game, what I'm doing, and just go from there and let it flow.
Yeah. Okay. Torque, you're the new guy on the show. Welcome to the SML, Torque. I think this is your first podcast you've been on. So what do you think about this one?
So typically I don't. I will say one season I did, and I made the playoffs. So there's that. But I mean, I feel like with anything, if you want to be good at it, you're gonna have to put in the time to do so. So if you're a guy that watches film, sometimes you'll reap those benefits. I feel like I tend to do it if I have a shot at making the playoffs. Sad to admit, but true. But I think people who actually do study, I think they'll see the benefits of it in the long run. But I mean, there's so many plays in this game that you can run. There's so many formations you can get in. So I feel like after a while, once you recognize the formation and the personnel, it's kind of like, okay, well, they're going to do this, this, or that. So yeah, you tend to be more prepared the more you play. But if you watch film, I think you got a good shot at being pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Doink, what do you think?
Yeah, so first of all, lack of respect on the SML Podcast Network. This is not Torque's first podcast.
As soon as I said that, I knew I was wrong.
First we got folks stealing topics onto Total Access directly from a recently dropped pod. Now we got no respect for the SML redraft. Torque was great on that. We got to get Torque on more pods. He's good on the mic. He's good on the pods. I respect Torque as well. As for the studying question, I studied more when I first came into the league. I mean, if you watch that first playoff game, I knew Faz was going to come out in cover 2 off the rip. That's why I took a touchdown on it right away. We know how that game ended. But at this point in time, no, I don't study much. I think I know everyone's tendencies. I know who wants to run what out of what sets. I've played guys enough times, especially people I've shared a division with. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to run what they've always been running. It's pretty much what you see. Occasionally someone picks up something new. Typically, though, guys stick to what they do. Especially come playoff time, you're going to revert back to what you're most comfortable with, not something you've been trying out new this season. You're going to revert back to your go-to things, whether that's gun doubles for Q, whether that's, everyone has their comfort plays, their comfort formations, whether that's, a corner post to Kyle Pitts for me, you name it. That's what it's going to come back to. Yeah. That being said, if you are going to study, I think it definitely pays off. I will occasionally study before a big game, especially if it's someone I haven't played much, like a playoff game type deal. But when you do study, it's not just looking at Neon and saying, hey, they've thrown to this guy a bunch. Watch the tape. Look at what they've actually done. Hey, they like to hit this guy, to the right side on out routes or something. Or they always look for, this person on a cross, or, well, they always send this guy deep. That's the stuff to really look for. Never mind the higher level stuff on the defensive end where, their user always takes one step forward. You can catch them on a play action and do a seam or something. Mm-hmm. That sort of stuff is what you really get from studying, watching their tendencies, or if they always line up on the same guy, as opposed to some guys like like a Dom who mix up where their user is. That's the stuff that you can pick up on just by watching streams, even if it's not a formal study.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. And Dump, you're the champion. Tell us.
Something I went back and forth on definitely in my career in the SML. At first, I didn't study at all, just kind of load up and play. And then the beginning of this cycle, I started studying just for the playoffs. So I had a pretty elaborate system. I would go in, watch the film, or have an Excel file, and I would break down like single back, and then each formation, single back, and what they run. And I would color code it, like red for run, purple for pass. I'd have percentages of like single back, their 70% run. And I did that the first 2 seasons, and it definitely helped, but I didn't win. And then last year, when I finally got my Simbardi, I didn't study at all. So it kind of was, I don't know, maybe it's just, it definitely helps with tendencies. I think I did pretty well, but at the end of the day, there's going to be times in games where you just got to make a play. You can study all you want, you can know what's coming, but at the end of the day, you just got to make a play. And I definitely think it helped for a little bit. But going into a big game now, I usually just like for the playoffs last year, look at their stats. Who they like to run, who they like to throw to, and we just go from there. But for a while, I had a pretty elaborate system.
Yeah, that's good. So the scoring is as follows: Tiny Titan 8, Torque 9, Doink 11, Dump the Chump 13. I was impressed by the Excel spreadsheet thing there. So
it's pretty good.
Dump, what power up would you like?
Give me.
You can self revive, precision airstrike, revive somebody, gas mask, or deploy.
I'm gonna go with the gas mask.
Oh man, this has never been used in SML the point after ever, and Dump is now elected to use it. So anytime someone goes to talk, if you just say gas mask, that'll make they get skipped essentially.
The time is this unlimited, or I get
no, just one time, just one time.
Okay. Tiny, don't talk the rest of the time.
I was about to say, we'd like, can this work in chat too? Because it might happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now the circle's closing in here. Paulie said it. I've kind of said it. I had an article I wrote in about August or September about our friend Dan finally falling off the cliff. He hasn't won a Simbardi since season 2 of last cycle. It was on a fluke injury that helped him lose to beat Monty and propel him to the Simbardi trophy. Has Dan fallen off the cliff? Doink, what do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's made still 3 conference championships in the last 5 seasons?
Probably.
I think something like that. He's made playoffs every year. He's been competitive. He's made a bunch of conference championships. Breaks here and there. I think his quarterback play was an issue for a little bit. I think he's fine. He's still, the same guy. He's still winning the vast majority of his games. Of the big 5, I don't even think he's the one that's fallen off the most when you look at results so far this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see one Super Bowl run from Dan. I don't know if he's going to win it, but he's going to make a Simbardi run this season. I think he definitely hasn't gone off the cliff. He's definitely still elite. He definitely still wins, 80% of his games type deal. I don't know what the actual numbers on that are, but I think he's won the vast majority of his games still. So, no, I don't think he's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
Even if Dump is the team to beat in that division right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dan did make a Simbardi once this cycle already. Lost to Woods. Tiny, what do you think?
No, I agree with Doink. Which I did
Somebody
play him.
clip that. Somebody clip that. Tiny agrees with Doink.
But yeah, I played him. I don't remember his last season or the season before, and it just didn't feel like a typical Dan that I was playing against, which was kind of odd. But if you look overall at the seasons, he's normally like he was saying, only getting like 3 or 4 losses a season for the most part. So, and Prime, I'm sorry, I love you, but like y'all are pretty comparable this cycle so far with the first, second round exits, right? I mean,
I've got a Simbardi. He doesn't.
Well, that's true, but still, I don't think you can justify saying he's fell off a cliff.
You know who's
just
lost
because
this
he
round,
hasn't won that
boys.
Super Bowl. Yeah, that's all I got. I want to stop there. Okay.
That's good. That's good. No, it's Dump. What do you think? You're in his division.
All right, we got to clear the air. I am tired of all these narratives being thrown around in SML. Next big thing, elite. All right, Dan, is he a good player? Yes, he is a good player. He's a great player. But is he elite? It's another step. You think of real life sports, guys that are elite. Patrick Mahomes winning multiple championships. Tom Brady, a ton of rings. Michael Jordan, they never go in a drought. They always find themselves back there and winning. And right now in the SML, we have too much elite being thrown around. In my opinion, there's only two elite people, Prime and QP. They both won Sombardies recently and often, right? Dan has not won a Sombardi since season 51. We're in 62. If you're not keeping up, is that elite? No, that's not elite. He's good. He's great, but he's not elite. He's fallen off a little bit of a cliff. I'm going to say he's hanging on the edge. If he doesn't get one on this cycle, he's fallen off all the way off the edge. To be elite, you have to repeatedly win and finish the deal.
Ooh.
Finish the deal to be elite. And he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it.
Okay. Torque, how do you back that up?
I'm going to disagree. I think so. I've known Dan when I was first in primer because Dan was actually there, and so going in, Dan was a guy that I knew was elite. And I do get where elite can be thrown around often in this league and different things like that, but to me, and I'm going to call my shot here, in the next two, Dan's going to be there straight up because he's had his focus away from this league for a little bit with his daughter playing basketball, and everybody kind of forgets that and all that. His attention's kind of been everywhere. KP's been kind of asking for help with him. I think if Dan just locked in for a season and was like, hey, screw everybody, this is my season, I'm going to go do it, I think he could. He has the personnel, he has the defense. The quarterback was an issue, like Doink said, but Dan's Dan, wow. And you can write him off all you want, but at the end of the day, he's in a conference championship. He's been in the Sombardi this cycle. It's only a matter of time, and we've seen this cycle so far, and this Madden in general. There's not anyone elite this cycle just yet. No one has won back-to-back yet, So my thing is, like, if you give Dan the time to just focus on this season or next, I think he's in the big show, and I think he walks away with a win.
Wow, that's good. That's well said. So here's the scoring: Doink 55, Torque 85, Tiny negative 300,231, and Dump. I've got Dump at 8,654. So I got Dump winning in round two. But this game is still alive, and again, really none of these rounds really matter until the last round. So let's move on to the second to last question I have here. Who is your favorite SML streamer to watch, excluding Primetime 000, of course? Tark, we'll start with you.
100% Woods. I've watched more Woods streams in probably like the past month than I've watched TV, Netflix, anything. Woods, I put in chat, hey Woods, let's go. And I hear that shuffling of the mic, and Woods is there. What's up, my man? And everything is straight up a reaction to the play going on. And it's, man, Blankenship, are you kidding me? Catch the ball. And then from there, it's just pure comedy. I mean, I've gotten to the point where, as a matter of fact, he played in the middle of the day this past week, and I turned it on in my classroom where I'm teaching, and we watched Woods straight up. And it was awesome.
That's awesome, man.
and I let him know. I said, hey, the kids are watching. Let's keep it PG-13. And I get a, oh, man, my bad. So Woods, by far, my favorite guy to watch in the SML.
That's awesome. Doink, what do you think, bud?
I can't argue with the Woods pick. Woods is absolutely electric on the mic. It usually makes for a good game. I got two guys here kind of going different directions. If you want actual, you get kind of analysis, insight into his mind. A guy like Filthy is great to watch. He kind of breaks down what he sees, what he's trying to do. Usually you can get him to laugh a little bit. You say something goofy in the stream too, but he does a great job breaking down concepts and stuff of what he's seeing, what he's trying to do. Plus you get to see something different, a little D-line action, and that's always fun to watch. On the not so much streamer side, but whose favorite streams I like to watch, you watch a Monty game like you watched earlier this morning, and it's pure chaos.
Yeah.
It is absolute chaos. He had 21 points scored in the last 40 seconds of him draw. Doesn't matter who he's playing, it is going to be just mayhem out there, even if he's not, actually providing commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, Monty games are fun to watch. The edge of your seat, because you never know what's going to happen. Let's go Dump. What do you think?
Well, Torque kind of stole my answer. Definitely, hands down, Woods. But I got an honorable mention. Woods is great. Ironically, we were playing the other day, and it must have been mid-game. I don't know if he hit the thing on his console, but I can start hearing him, and he's just raging. Like, he's not saying anything about, like, what he's trying to do or plays, but he's just pissed. He's cussing up a storm. And I didn't tell him to mute it because I just enjoyed listening to him.
It's funny.
But my honorable mention, I got to throw someone new in there. QP. I like to listen to QPs. You get a lot of good insight on the game, and he's pretty funny too. He has some good one-liners in there. So QP is definitely enjoyable, and a person that has grown on me a lot in the SML. QP.
That's good. That's good. Tiny, what do you think, bud?
So apparently Woods was the consistent answer here because he's just freaking. Dude, I will catch myself crying, laughing, listening to his streams. It's so funny. But Bomber, of course, is a good one. He doesn't normally do the camera as much anymore as he used to. But I'm sure you all have seen it whenever he's accidentally hit that middle button on his PlayStation controller whenever he's playing his game. God damn, it's a deer every time he does it. He freaks out. Fins is another one that I really like as well. More about just he interacts with his, kind of like you do, Prime, in your games. He interacts with people in his chat and talks the whole time. That's fun to do whenever, you're watching their game and just, interacting with them the whole time.
Yeah, it's good. So here's the scoring. Tiny, 745. Dump, 721. Doink, 765. And Torque, 998. So Torque wins round 3, which also so happened to be a power-up round. I just came up with that just now because I forgot to do it last round. Torque, what power-up would you like to have? I don't know if you on your phone, if you're able to check, but you can use a self-revive, precision airstrike, revive pistol, gas mask is taken, or deployable cover.
Ooh, give me the deployable decoy.
Oh, protected himself. And it's duos now for the final round to decide who goes home with the point after championship. It's the gulag. Create a team, or I guess you have to set these guys in the right spot. 1 offense, 1 defense, and 1 is the coach for a Madden game. The coach calls the offense and defensive plays. The guys out there have to run the controller for the offense and defense. Fins, KJ, Coop are your 3 guys. The teams are as follows: Tiny and Torque, and Doink and Dump. All right, Torque, you go first. What's your lineup there?
All right, so I think so I got to play Fins last night on offense. He was pretty methodical. Had some great reads. So I'm gonna go with Fins on offense.
Okay.
All right, and I'm gonna go KJ on defense because he gives you different looks. He mixes things. It's never your true pre-snap read with him. Like, he's going to show you one thing and it's going to be completely different. Like, he'll man guys up, but it'll look like a cover 3 shell. Sometimes he's backing guys up, moving them up in your face. Like, it's always something different. Like, he'll have a cornerback band on a running back on the other side. Like, it's just crazy. But I like it. It's different. It's cool. And then I'm going to have to go with Coop as the coach. I trust Coop to call the right plays and let those guys execute, do the dirty work for him.
It's good. Tiny, what do you think?
Gas mask.
Well,
Tiny gets skipped in the championship round. That sucks. Tiny, What's your 3 anyway? You just can't. Your points won't count. But let's hear your 3.
Obviously, Finn's was offense. My defense was Coop. And maybe it's just a me thing, but every time I play Coop, man, I cannot score on this guy. His defense is freaking awesome. And then KJ, just because I want to use the full play clock every time, whenever he big plays for coach.
That's awesome. So Tiny is at 0, obviously, because he got skipped. Doink and Dump, the score to beat is 46. Doink, you go first.
Yeah, so first of all, that's classic Dump, just, getting all these loaded abilities to walk into the middle. But,
Dev upgrades in this freaking game, too.
Freaking dev upgrades. No, of that group, I think the biggest no-brainer there is KJ on defense. KJ has a good user, plays good defense. It's what kills him is throwing picks, basically. He's like, it's a struggle to score the ball, plus he kind of plays that, quote-unquote Dan ball. He controls the clock well. And then defensively, though, he makes you work for every yards. He plays good defense. Absolutely putting KJ on defense. Coop and Finns, I'd put Finns on offense, but I think it's 50-50 at that point. Finns can score the ball when he wants to sometimes, especially with that Dolphins team. We've seen him put up some points. It's just been some shootouts. Coop on as your head coach, though, who knows what's going to happen. I mostly want Coop at head coach for the chaos. I want to see him lateraling the ball out there, get some hook and ladders going. Meanwhile, Finns on offense has shown the ability to execute that concept. So, Finns on offense, Coop at head coach, KJ.
There you go. Dump?
Well, definitely not picking KJ for the head coach because take way too many delay games. I'm going to put KJ on defense because he does have a great user. I think that's a strong suit for him. He's pretty solid on defense and seems to get his plays picked at a decent amount of time because there's a runoff. You only get 5 seconds after the other guy picks. So, we put him in situations to succeed. Head coach, I'm going to go with Coop. I think Coop is he's smart. He knows the game. You hear him talking in the chat quite a bit. He does know what's going on in Madden. He knows what works, what doesn't work. I don't know if he can execute it, so that's why we're putting him in head coach. And then Finn's on offense. Played him a few times this cycle, and it's always a shootout. Tough to stop him. He makes great decisions. He's an ally of Dan, so he's going to be smart with the ball and not make too many mistakes. So that's what I'm going with. KJ defense, Finn's offense, Coop head coach.
That's good. So here's the final scoring: Tiny Titan 0, Torque 46, Dump 23, Doink 23. So to win it, the winning team, whoever raises their hand first with the right answer, wins the game for their winning team. Who are the last 3 teams the Colts beat in the SML? Dump for the win.
QP, myself, Juan.
Yes, Doink and Dump win it. That's 3 set feet lead. I'm amazing. So really I win, but really Doink and Dump win. Congratulations, guys. Is SML the point after Dump and Doink? Do you want to sign us off with anything?
Go get him, Dump.
We'll see. It's going to be a Doink Dump Super Bowl.
Dump Super Bowl.
Former champions.
20, whatever you were.
We'll put on a show.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you watching. That was Torque, Tiny, Doink, and Dump. Thanks for watching the point after. See ya.